Also available for streaming, and also available on you can also download it, and it's on Blu-ray, and then it's going to come to the Arrow video channel in a couple of weeks time. Is Why Don't You Just Die, which is this film by Russian director Kirill Sokolov. It's his feature debut, and the action largely plays out in a kind of cramped Moscow apartment. There is a guy who is a cop who is a nasty piece of work. Young man turns up at the door with a hammer, apparently to kill the cop, because he's been sent by his girlfriend, who is the cop's daughter, who says that the cop is an abusive father. What then happens is, in a kind of Tarantino-ish way, sort of Pulp Fiction style, the plot snaps backwards and forwards in time, showing us, front story and backstory of all the separate characters, because the dad is not going to be taken down easily, and this apartment becomes a kind of Wild West corral, replete with Ennio Morricone style soundtrack inflections, in which characters turn up and all manner of mayhem, very violent mayhem ensues. The best way of kind of imagining that violence is it's the visual tone of the film kind of reminded me of Janae Caro of Delicatessen, and it has that same kind of grand guignol grotesquerie that, despite some of the stuff going on, which is kind of head banging and leg danging and drilling, and there's a lot of kind of unspeakable stuff going on, but it's all done in a very sort of slapstick pseudo comic way, which reminded me of, I mean, I always remember that Sam Raimi said that The Evil Dead wasn't a horror movie. The Evil Dead was a slapstick comedy that just happened to have blood and guts standing in for custard pies. He said it was essentially the Three Stooges with offal. And this reminded me of that, or the style of something like Crime Wave. There's also a kind of underlying message about corruption in Russian society, and figures of authority being corrupt, and everybody being buyable, and everything being to do with the money. I was trying to think how best to describe the film, and I came up, to me, and it turns out I'm not the only person who said this. It's like Meet the Parents meets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a very cramped apartment, and it is every bit as enjoyable and bonkers as that sounds. And it's called Why Don't You Just Die?